Hello everyone.
Hello.
We're so happy you joined us here today for the preview of update 1.6 titled Elder Update. It's going to feature a cool collaboration with another game, Dotage, and we're super excited to share more information with you about the upcoming update. My name is Łukasz, I'm Airship Games Community Manager, and I'm here with Aaron, our producer. And
Hello.
We're happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all the kind words in the chat. We're grateful you're here. You're supporting us. That matters to us, and we're very much grateful. So let's get right to it.
Let's talk about the new update.
The update is titled
the Elder update. Yeah. So we've just had an update like 3 weeks ago. 4.
Yeah. Like that.
So it's a bit sooner than you might expect, but it's also a smaller update to an extent. It's mostly tied into world events. So I don't have anything here on my map, but let's quickly talk what's the main point here of this update. So it's 3 new world events: the Elder, the Blight-ridden Viceroy, and the Ghost Town. And there is a major rebalance of all events in the world map events, not Glade events, on the world map. So we've not only tweaked numbers of events, we also changed a lot of options you have there. We added some new options. We just experimented around with the events we have, plus the new ones. So let's first spawn maybe some new event and show you how it looks. Like as Luke said, one of the events, in this case the Elder, which the update is named after, is an event that is inspired by Dotage, another very nice, very cool, amazing city builder.
Roguelite
city builder, yeah. And we're collaborating with them here on this update, and we're adding something special from that game. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah, so Dotage is another roguelite city builder, another indie roguelite city builder. That's important part. So for a very long time we've been compared together on social media.
Yeah.
People were mentioning us and Dotage together, like those are my, favorite roguelite city builders. Mainly because there are not so many roguelite city builders. But we usually were mentioned together.
I broke the game.
Oh, if you didn't mention it, I would just switch scenes. Nobody would notice.
Yeah.
But now everyone knows. Update is broken.
No, it's I used the wrong dev console command.
Yeah. So at one point, Michel, I hope that's how you pronounce his name, the sole developer of Dotage, approached us asking if we'd like to cooperate on some cool content update, and we were like, yeah, let's do this. We want to do some kind of collaboration for a very long time, but we never asked anyone, nobody asked, but then it happened. And we were already Dotage fans. Of course, we needed to know our competitors. But there's no really competitors on game dev indie scene. Like we're all just trying our best to, sell games and make games.
Yeah.
So we're adding content inspired by Dotage to Against the Storm, and Dotage is also adding content inspired by Against the Storm to Dotage.
Yeah. So I finally managed to spawn the event without breaking the game. So as you can see, this is a new world event with new art. We also changed the world event UI a bit. Here that there's more room for the options, a bit more space for the text here because the text got quite a bit long in some world events. And there's also more room here so we can read up on all the lore here. Basically, a crazed old man just runs out of the forest at you, and he screams that you should prepare for doom. And you can prepare for immediate doom, which is, for those of you who played Dotage will recognize that reference. And you can prove that the forest is safe. Now, 2 options here: win before year 7 ends after fulfilling 200 service needs, plus the other option is rush to Glades Forbidden or Dangerous ones and you gain a purring ally for 3 games. So I want to show you this second option here, if that's okay. We're gonna, we're gonna cheat in this game anyways. We're not gonna play entirely. Let's start it, and you will gain the, after winning this event, there's some special reward for that. So let's pretend that we have opened 2 glades in the first year and won the game. Where is it? Here. Let's say even we have, not the forbidden one. Let's just say, okay, I opened the 2 glades and I can now win. Wow, I'm such a good player. Now back to the world map. And here you can see we won the event. And we've got interesting little reward, which is the Elder's Cat. So while he mumbles something about insufferable fools, that'll be us, his cat slips into our wagon, and it's the Elder's Cat, which gives you global resolve and higher chance for producing double yields for the next 3 games. So yeah, let's go into the Ashen Thicket and let's see it.
Yeah, the feline ally is also inspired by Dotage. It's more cat-like in Dotage. Our version is a combination of cat and shark. We just thought that cats probably wouldn't.
We still wanted to like ground it in Against the Storm lore to an extent, so we decided to give it a bit of more Against the Storm flavor, so to speak. But it's still here. You can annoy the hell out of it and just play around with it, and it'll just walk around your settlement, give you some bonuses as described here in this tooltip, and in general just make your game more pleasant with its like mere presence here.
Yeah, and don't be surprised, it's a cat, it's a realistic cat, so it will go wherever it pleases.
Yeah, I don't have a city right now here, but it will just walk into buildings, like go around the forge here, probably wander around. Oh, here it is. They're trying to build something and it just goes away. This is also like the first for us in terms of like the first time we were adding like a passive NPC into the city, so maybe something in the future will also happen with that, who knows. But yeah, so not to linger along here too long, we can go into the other events that's coming in this update. So the first Elder is just one of them.
That was the first out of 3 new world events coming in this update.
Yes, and let's first spawn maybe the Ghost Town.
Yeah. So while Aaron is typing, let me just share a couple additional pieces of information about the update. The update is coming on Thursday, that is December 19th.
Yes.
At 6 p.m. UTC. So yeah, as usual, make sure to complete your settlements before the update goes live, because it will need to invalidate your ongoing settlements. But as always, you will be rewarded with Citadel resources and a royal resupply.
Yeah, and as always, there's also gonna be a legacy branch. If you want to finish your game before the update, you can also go there. But Luke will explain that, I think, at the end of the stream, everything.
And also in the update notes.
In the update notes as well.
Today we are going to go through the major changes, like the world events and changes to other world events, but and we're not going into details like bug fixes. Those will be covered in update notes. But if you have any questions during the stream, please share them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer either now or near the end. Yeah. Hey nerds.
Hey nerds. So yeah, this is the second world event that's coming in 1.6, is the Ghost Town. And here you have some sad story about the Merchant Guild again being not very nice people. And you can decide whether to punish the guild by winning a game in 8 years after attacking 3 traders, and for that you will gain a blessing for the entire cycle. Or you can join in a hunt for a spectral treasure stack, which unlike the other stacks in the game, if you haven't like caught them already in the game, they are basically like animals you can find in small glades. They will run into a nearby dangerous or forbidden glade, and there you can find them, and they will give you a bonus for catching them. Here this works a bit differently. You get a stack at the beginning of the game, and then it spawns somewhere, and it runs off somewhere on your map, and you have to get there. You have a longer timer than usual, but it's pretty far away, so we can find it with this. Oh, so it's I have half an hour to get there. Yeah, it's not that hard. So once I find it, the event is completed. So we wanted to toy around with different mechanics for events, because previously in some of the events we had, I'm gonna talk more about this when we're talking about rebalance of the events, because some of the old events have been rebalanced and reworked. And we wanted to experiment around with different play styles and more experimental mechanics here. So this is one example of that, and the last one, last new one that's coming into the game, it's the Blight-ridden Viceroy. Have I written this correctly?
Blight-rotted? Okay.
Yeah, it's differently in the backend. So this is some poor fellow who is sick with the blight rot, and you can accept its help, which is allow him to serve his queen for the last time, but your game will be a bit more difficult. For every 45 produced raw and complex food, blight rot cyst will appear in your settlement, but the reward I think is worth it. So yeah, this is another challenge for you here, and these are the 3 main new world events. Now I think there's some question.
Yeah, the question is about decorations, whether we are...
Not in this update, maybe in the future, but for now it's not really planned, and definitely not coming in 1.6.
Yeah, and a related question that was asked, I think, on Discord today or Steam, was whether we are going to change the role of decorations. For now, we don't have any plans to change the role.
No, we thought about it for a while back when we were changing the hub gameplay and so on, but we don't really have a solid idea on how to do that without really upsetting all the balance in the game. Plus, it's difficult to design a new system there without divulging into micromanaging your decorations. For now, they're just purely decorative items you can just place around and express yourself, or just plug down to get the bonus. We don't really have any particular ideas for the future for that, but we'll see about
yeah, we are aware we've been adding a lot of those lately.
Yeah, with the UI of them, I see the problem there. There are many decorations, and the UI is starting to get too big for that. So we might look at that in the future, especially before adding another decoration or two. So yeah, we'll think about that, but for now it's not really planned. So yeah, so these are the new events, and also as I said before, there's a lot of old events we switched around, and they were a bit we didn't only tweak the numbers, we also changed the gameplay there. So for example, let's say we spawn in Somber Procession, which previously was an event where you basically found this procession along the in your old map. They were escorting, there was basically a funeral procession for a viceroy who died. Now the first option is basically the same as it was before, but the second one we changed. The second one previously was give away 3 or 4, I think, of your reserve embarkation points and gain a blessing for 1 game, which was a very weak option, and plus reserve embarkation points aren't that common, or you don't really want to lose them. So now you can join the funeral and win after completing the funeral feast event, and for that you will gain a feast hall blueprint. The feast hall is a service building, so basically it will fulfill your treatment and brawling needs. So you'll have this as a blueprint when starting a game after finishing this option for the next 3 games in this cycle. And I can just show you that quickly, and we can try to solve that that event, just so you can see how it works. And yeah, so this is a pretty weird event, because there is nothing on your map. You have to build the feast hall yourself first. Some of the players who have played before the Frog update might remember that building layout. We really liked that. We removed it for the Frog update, but then we changed around the visuals of it and reintroduced it as the feast hall here. And this is basically a service building, but once you build it, it starts an event. So let them build it. And here you can see it's a building you built, but it basically behaves like an event. So you have 3 parts of it. After completing all 3 parts, you will gain the feast hall blueprint for 3 games in this cycle. So let's see. First of all they need food for the feast. So I don't have any food here.
And this blueprint is going to be an essential blueprint.
Yeah.
So it's not in your pool, but you have it already at the beginning.
It will be added like for your from the beginning of the game for the next 3 games basically. So it's a way, because there is also like a slight thing we are thinking about when balancing the game, that services sometimes might need a little push to get started. So in this case, we decided to give you this blueprint of a new service building, basically, which looks like the old forum. That's right, but it's a bit it's updated a bit, so that you can start a game after this event, and then have like basically 2 service needs fulfilled. You are able to fulfill them at the beginning of the game, so that might change your gameplay. And that's the goal for many of those events we introduced last update and this update, is to add more variety to your gameplay, add more variety in the beginning of the game. That's why you have the Forsaken Town, for example. That's why you have, for example, those bonuses for the start of the game. Oh, here's the cat. Hello there. So yeah, they will finish the first part, and you'll progress to the second part, the third part, and every part has like a good requirement and a working effect. And basically, after you finish that, you get the blueprint.
Is there any other pet like mini Stormbird?
No, not for now.
For now, not.
That's a cool idea, but not in this update. No.
By the way, we're playing on the Ashen Thicket biome, but the majority of features in this update are added to the base game. Like only a couple of balance changes probably are related.
Yeah, there are some bug fixes and some balance changes that are exclusive to the DLC. But all the new events, the event changes, all of it, it's available for every player, regardless of DLC ownership or not. So yeah, that will just progress that. I don't think we need to stop that, or maybe we just let's finish that and show you the building at the end, which is not time real, just time add. So yeah, again, they will progress this. So yeah, maybe in the meantime, if there are any other questions.
The questions are about the cat, whether we can have it for longer than 3 games. Not for now.
No.
It adds resolve boost and double production chance, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it comes with a powerful boost, so it's only for 3 games.
It's as Luke said, it's only for 3 games.
Yeah, we understand that it would be cool to have it like all the time, but for now, it's only as a reward for the event.
If it would be like available all the time, it wouldn't be as special as it is now. So, for now, we're keeping it as as a fun little bonus you can get from an event. So once you finish the summer procession, the funeral feast event, you get this feast hall, which is like a normal service building. It can fulfill the tea need. It can fulfill the brawling need. It has some of you might recognize that the bonus. It was previously in the summer procession as a one-time bonus for the next game. Now it's in this building. So now if I win this game, I will have done the event and I will get the new blueprint, which is here for the next 3 games. So the next games I'll start will have I will have more options, for example, to play more into service needs if I want to, so that'll be easier. So with a lot of the events here, we've done something similar. There is one new building which is only for one event, where we just basically give you the blueprint for it for this one game when you play the event, and you have to produce a special new good. So And that's one thing. All of this will be described in the changelog tomorrow. There's also another event where you can win a building for 3 games, like the Feast Hall, but it will work like the Beacon Tower in the Sealed Forest with different bonuses. So basically, you will gain a tower that has support abilities. You can trigger for like 1 season, which should help you in your games and make it a bit more interesting. I'm not sure if you want to go over all the events and show you every one for them, because that will be boring. Plus,
maybe at least those with new buildings.
Yeah,
'Cause I
let's
think
do
that's cool. Like the events that now have their own exclusive buildings.
Yeah. So before we do that, there's also like some events like the Hanged Viceroy. It previously only had 1 option. Now it has 2 options. So we added just basically a new option to punish the villagers who hang their viceroy. So that's a bit grim, but yeah, that's a new option here. So yeah, let's show you the other events with special buildings. I think that was the crashed airship. No, yeah. So this is a good option. This is a good moment to show you a big balance change, or I think user experience change would be a better word for that. So crashed airship. Previously here in this first option, there was a choice to deliver 300 stormwater, I think, before year 9, I think. I might be misremembering. But basically, there are some events where you had to deliver something before a year, before a certain year. Now, this was a bit problematic because we never really told you if you fulfilled this before finishing the game. There's only the game only said you have to have this many items in your storage before year 9. But some players, and I rightfully so, didn't really know if the objective was fulfilled or not. So in this update, we're changing that every building, every event that has a requirement for resources at a certain year now works like a payment, basically. So when we start this game, it will show up here. So for this game, we will need to deliver 25 enriched fuel to the airship crew before year 9, and we will get 10 bricks and 30 flour. So yeah, let's start that. And to deliver this enriched fuel, which is a new resource which we haven't really seen anywhere in this game before, you will get a new blueprint, which is the field engineering station. So now with the field engineering station, you will be able to produce that good, but it's only for this one game, and that helps you track basically how many you have of these items for the delivery. But not only that, you have like this here, you have now this building where you produce this new item, which is never really used for anything else. So it helps you reserve it for the event. But also there's now this here. It's basically a payment. So it tells you when you have to pay it, how much you have to do it, and if you don't, then basically you just get a status effect. It's not really a debuff or anything. It doesn't really make your game harder. It basically means you failed the event, but you will know then by then because you didn't fulfill the payment. So here you can produce enriched fuel by combining rainwater and fuel, and yeah, that's basically this entire event.
Yeah, and it's cool that because the payments feature was kind of underused, I think.
Yeah.
So now it has one more purpose, one more goal.
Yeah, in a lot of ways we introduced the payment system to make it easier for you to track some effects that had the payment, because we had some seasonal effects. We had this special prestige modifier where you on P19 where you discover a glade, you have to pay. So this helps you track all of that. So we just decided, hey, that's a good place to put that in here to make it easier to track. I see that Ron has commented about the pipe reward, and the pipes are still there, not in this event. They're just basically moved to a different event. So in this event, you'll get bricks and flour in this decision, but the pipes are a reward for a different event now. So yeah, let's pretend we did it with our cat. Amazing. Back to world map.
Bye cat. That
Bye,
was the
cat.
third game, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's one more game you
Oh.
can play with the cat. So
Cool.
that was the second new building, the unique one for this event, and the last one. I mean, there's a lot more like changes to the balance here, but we're just showing the more interesting ones, the ones that have more experimental mechanics right now.
Yeah. Quick question about
Yeah.
achievements. We're not adding new platform achievements with this update, but we're adding new deeds, right?
New deeds?
No?
No.
No? Okay, sorry.
What? No. No. There's no new deeds for this update. Okay, so Cloaked Wanderer right now. So here you can we changed the first option. So right now you can convince him to give whatever he has to you, and to do that you have to win with 3 active Bloodflower clones. But you will start the game with 1 active Bloodflower clone. So that means that this game might become a bit weird. You might start with a Bloodflower, you might like take care of it and not really allow it to grow too much, but you still need 3 at the end. So I'm interested to see how this plays out in some playthroughs on YouTube and on Twitch. So yeah, you start with the Bloodflower, and for winning this game, you will gain the new blueprint. Also for 3 games, it's the essential blueprint, and that is the Flame Altar. So yeah, our cat is still here. We have the Bloodflower, and here's our goal. We have 1. I'm just gonna cheat again because why not? And we'll do that, and the Bloodflower will, yeah, amazing. And I'm done. I have won the game, I have finished the event, I even got a deed. So let's go back to the world map. Our cat is gone, unfortunately, but we got the reward for the event, which is the Flame Altar. So it's an obsidian tablet etched with an intricate blueprint and unlocks the Flame Altar. So I can show you now how the Flame Altar works. Let's say we'll start in the Royal Woodlands, why not? And this Flame Altar will be there for 3 games. And it is here in the city buildings. It is here at the end, the Flame Altar. We can build it wherever we want, and yeah, as I said, it works like the beacon tower. So it has some support abilities you can use for 1 season. That should basically help you in times of need. So the first ones are offerings, the second ones are prayers, all that's themed around the sacred flame, the holy flame. And here you have like some basic boosts basically. So you have fish, you have salt, and you have the gift of gathering, which makes it so that gatherers for the entire season, the active one right now, will produce 100% more goods. So if, for example, I plan this out, I build some gathering camps here, and I really focus on gathering this drizzle. Oh, I don't have wood. Then I can pop that off and make it so that these camps in this season will give me a lot more resources. So the more I have camps, the more I'm focusing on that playstyle, I can boost that. But if I want some quick reward, something for right now, I can use these 2 gifts. The second one is our prayers, which are also 2. You have only 2 uses per game, and this is basically a prayer for protection or of protection. So it's hostility. A prayer for perseverance, which is additional resistance for your hearth, and of courage, which basically increases the speed at which scouts are working on glade events. So it's very similar to even like those 2 effects are, I think, the same as in the Beacon Tower. The same was happening in the Beacon Tower. The first effects were also themed around like giving you resources. So we just decided to give you like a smaller, bit different version of that here. So you can, maybe if you want to go into a seal, so we have like 2 shrines there. We have this Flame Altar and the Beacon Tower, which will make your game a bit different and a bit easier maybe, if you plan it rightly. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is the last new building. This update is also like a temporary building. It's only for 3 games for the cycle, and once the 3 games are over, the building blueprint will disappear, and you will have to find the event again and maybe do it again to gain it again. I think we still have the feast hall from the previous event, so I can have both these buildings in the game and make my start a bit different, a bit easier maybe. But yeah, these are the biggest changes. There are also some smaller balance changes, some reward changes to the other world events, but this is the gist of it basically. I'm just looking at my list here. Is this anything else?
Yeah, there are several changes to the existing world events.
Yeah.
They will be all listed in the update notes. Let's move on from world events to cornerstones. Or do you want to go and answer one of the questions directly regarding the what was it? Cornerstone Forge. I don't see it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna move on to the second.
Yeah, but there are changes coming to the Cornerstone Forge.
Yeah, so that's what I can talk about right now. So maybe I will find the Ashen Thicket. So the second bigger change in terms of balance here is, aside from the world events, is cornerstones. So just like to how to say that? In this update, we're balancing some of the cornerstones in the game. We're trying to make some of the weaker ones a bit more satisfying to draw. But this is only like the beginning of our cornerstone balance, because we wanted to do something more with cornerstones in the future. And this will be a two-part change. So for 1.6, for this update, there's a few cornerstones where we changed how they work. For example, borrowed time, the cornerstone that gives you a grace period for, I think was impatience, right? Yeah, it will now, for example, appear a bit later in the game. It won't be a cornerstone that is offered to you in the very beginning. There's also some other, not these ones. Maybe I will find it somewhere here. No, but yeah, let's just leave it at that. That there are some cornerstones where we just rebalance the numbers on them. There are some cornerstones which we basically removed for now from the game. There are, I think, 2 or 3 of them, because they weren't really synergizing with anything. You also saw in the data that they were very rarely used and rarely picked by players. For example, from the shadows, which I personally very I liked because of the icon and the theme and so on. But this one cornerstone wasn't really hitting the mark when it comes to synergies and strategies in the game. So we might bring it back sometime in the future when we have a better idea of how to rework it. But for now, it's just hidden from the pool. And there are some other cornerstones where you basically buffed them. We just took some of the weaker ones. We gave them a bit higher numbers to make them more attractive. And all of this will be listed tomorrow in the changelog. Now,
not tomorrow, in 2 days.
In 2 days.
The update is coming on Thursday.
Sorry. In 2 days in the changelog. Now, there's also one other change, which also is tied to the Cornerstone Forge. That is, we're trying something out with a system that will draw cornerstones, perks, and effects based on some conditions, because right now how the game works is very RNG heavy, but in a lot of places we look at some data from your game and we don't really draw something if it's not applicable. The easiest example is if you don't have fertile soil anywhere on your map, we don't give you a small farm, we don't give you perks tied to farming, basically because they're useless. But we also wanted to expand that a bit. So for example, now in the Cornerstone Forge, when you have bonuses that are tied strictly to one species, for example, let's say I don't have a species that has a jerky need, or I don't have a species that has a paste need, I won't get a paste plus resolve bonus here in this one effect window. And something similar is happening with some resources and some perks here and in cornerstones. For example, previously there was golden marrow here, which appears in this biome because you can get marrow from the mine here. But in other biomes you might not have access to marrow, then we will not show that perk in that biome. And for now it's just a very limited experiment. In the future, we want to expand that a bit to maybe orders as well, to trader perks. We'll see, because there's a fine balance here. We don't want to like limit too much. We still want to keep the game, you know, RNG heavy to an extent, but we want to limit the number of unsatisfying picks, or maybe just give you some more useful picks, but without really defining your build for you. You don't have to do that yourself. So we still want the game to be play the hand you're dealt, but not play, you know, a hand that isn't really useful. So for this update, we're only like doing this in a limited scale for some perks here, but in a future update we'll expand that a bit more, and we're also in this update doing this for the Cornerstone Forge, to an extent, of course, because not every perk can be like drawn with a clear distinction of the resource is available or is not, because you know there are different sources for a resource, for example trees and so on. So there are some cases where we don't really limit it too much. I hope I didn't make this description too complicated.
No. Feels all right.
Yeah, so the entire list of cornerstones and how they change will be in 2 days in the changelog. For now, just know that we basically boosted some of the weaker ones. We removed 2 or 3 weak ones we thought that weren't really used that much, to make space for the better ones. And in the future, we will look at the data even more closely. We also updated our internal tools for that, for like looking at what you guys pick in the game. So we will have more data before the next update, and we will be able to make better decisions on that. But you will have to wait for the next update for that. You will have to spend a bit more time on that. So yeah, other than that, I think, other than the balance changes to world events, to cornerstones, and the new events, there is a bit less in this update than
there are various UI and UX improvements as always, but they're not as flashy as usual. There was a question about the blueprint rewards for world events. So how it works is that you get those blueprints or those rewards for the next 3 games, not the games you choose, and that's on purpose. We don't really want you to hoard them. They will be useful for the next 3 games. If by chance you get those for the sealed forest, that's great, but they're not meant to be, you know, hoarded through the cycle.
They are only for 3 games, because we don't really want to give them for the entire cycle, or even like for other cycles. It's a bonus for the event. It's not meant to be a normal building blueprint for all games. Okay, so there's one more, I think, world event that will make some people happy to know that we changed, which is the Forsaken Town event, because there were some issues with that, and particularly in its balance after 1.5, where sometimes you would get a very difficult match. Like the town will start in storm, it would have like a lot of blight rot, it wouldn't have really fuel. It was basically hard to work with that. Plus the number of glades discovered was a bit too unforgiving or unpredictable, because it depended on the map layout too much. So with this update we changed that. We made the glade generation a bit more predictable, so the numbers should be more in line with, you know, what you are used to after playing a few games on the Forsaken Town glade event, world map event. And also now in the easier version you will start in drizzle, in the harder version you will start in clearance, so it will be a bit easier to handle what is happening in that town. It won't be like complete chaos right away. It'll give you a moment to adapt. So as you can see, I chose the harder version. I have like a smaller number of glades discovered here in this case, and I started in clearance. I still have some not so well defined. Yeah, I still have an event here to handle, which I don't really like. But yeah, it should be a lot less stressful than the first version of the storm. Yeah, and that was inspired by player feedback, so that's, I think, a change that a lot of players will welcome. And yeah, as Luke said, other than the new events, the event rebalance, the Cornerstone rebalance, there is some UI changes, UX changes. They are mostly text-based for this update. We didn't really add a new window or change some layouts. Most of them are clarity, most of them are like text improvements. For example, let's spawn maybe the Gambler, I think. Yeah, so for example, his option to like bet seal fragments, his like option to bet some seal fragments is, I think, now described a bit more clearly, that you bet 5, you will win 10. And if you like win the bet, you will get his 10, you will get back your 5. So it's trust me, it's supposed to be like a bit clearer than I described right now.
It's clearer now.
Five
lines
pages
of text, yeah.
But even like, if you win this, you will get a reward window with basically 2 items, 10 seal fragments and 5 seal fragments, which basically is your reward plus your bet back. So it's supposed to be a bit clearer right now. And there's numerous changes like that all over the UI. There's also a few changes to, this is a fun event. Let fate decide, win with a random species being favored each season. So when I start the game, just some random species will be favored, and I can't do anything about it. Okay, so what were I saying? So the other change here is that, for example, we in the like upper right corner of the screen, you sometimes have the description of the event when you're playing a settlement in this event, and that will be like a bit bigger now, so you don't have to look very closely at that, so it should be more readable.
I love one comment about favoring event. That sounds horrible. Can't wait to try it.
Yeah. That was the goal for that event, to be honest. Yeah. So other than that, of course, like bug fixes, a lot of bug fixes for the Ashen Thicket biome, where some effects were drawn incorrectly. Like you could get some things that weren't supposed to get, and that you weren't supposed to get. English is hard, and I'm not really thinking today clearly. But other than that, I think that's it for this event, for this entire update. So it's a smaller update, but we wanted to get it out before the end of the year. We wanted to like give you something before the holiday season starts, and we wanted to like collaborate with Dotage a bit sooner. So it's all fits pretty well, and we are in 2 days you will be able to play this update and try it yourself, and all the new cool and weird events on the world map.
And you mentioned Dotage, so let's get back to this topic, because as I mentioned at the beginning, it's not only us adding Dotage event, also Dotage is adding content inspired by Against the Storm. So I think it's coming on Thursday as well, around the same time. So once you start to play Dotage on Thursday, you will be able to come to, I don't know how much can I say, but I think it was confirmed it's going to be 3 events in Dotage, and you can welcome a VIP beaver to your settlement. And I think he looks really nice. That was very nice of Michelle, the developer of Dotage, to add beaver from Against the Storm to the game, and also make events directly inspired by some themes from Against the Storm, like Hostility of the Forest and stuff like that. So if you already have the game, we'll be happy if you try the new stuff. If you don't own the game yet, there will be probably a bundle for sure. There will be a bundle with Dotage. Yeah. So we will be able to get it with some additional discount on Thursday. So the update, ours and Dotage, but we're talking about our update, is coming on Thursday, December 19th at 6 p.m. UTC. Before that, please make sure to complete your settlements. As always, when we release big content updates, we need to close the ongoing settlements. Just because of the sheer amount of systemic changes that are happening, we need to close those settlements to avoid any game-breaking bugs. We know it's unfortunate and it's not cool, but yeah, we try to limit those as much as we can. So, for example, patches and hotfixes don't close your settlements, but those big content updates, they need to. Like with many run-based games, when there are such big systemic changes, we just need to do it. But you will get, so if you don't manage to complete the settlement on time, you will get Citadel resources as you would get for winning that game, and Royal resupply, no matter if you won the world event or not. But if you complete the settlement and start the game after update 1.6 goes live, nothing will change really.
Yeah.
Your meta progression is safe, cycle progression is safe, it's just the settlement.
Yeah.
And as Aaron also mentioned, we will leave for a limited time a separate Steam branch with the current version. So if you really need to finish your settlement, you can switch to that branch and then return. But we don't really recommend that option. It's like a last resort.
If you really want to complete your current settlement, like really, then yeah.
It's a lot of hassle, and if you forget to change your branch back and then the branch disappears, you will have trouble loading the game, and you will need to remember that, half a year ago I switched the branch, now I need to switch the back. So last resort. I think that's all. A lot of you. Let's go through some Q&A questions. When is update 1.7?
Not confirmation.
Next year.
Yeah. Oh, really?
We didn't. We still plan to add more content to Against the Storm. I think you also mentioned that. During the stream that some things are coming that we're still thinking about.
When we talked about the balance for Cornerstones in particularly and the effects, then it should be coming in 1.7, but we are still not sure when 1.7 will be. We don't want to ruin your settlement save too soon. We don't want to rush this change. So
probably longer than
longer than the
between
space,
1.5 and 1.6. That was only 3 weeks or something. I think that's maybe a bit too often for a full release game. It was okay in early access, but now I think let's leave people's settlements alone. So the update 1.7 will come at some point. It will be probably a bit longer than this one. We wanted to do something before holiday break, so will there be 1.7 experimental?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, if there are bigger changes in 1.7, then maybe, we only use experimental as a way of, checking for bigger balance changes for systems, for new systems especially, where we would just want more data before releasing them. I'm still not 100% sure what will be in 1.7. It depends on when we'll release it, how many ideas that we have right now will fit in there. So that's really I'm not really sure if there's going to be an experimental. If there's enough big changes in 1.7, then maybe we'll start an experimental just to get some feedback. But that depends, basically,
Any more DLC ideas in the future? I mean, we have ideas, at least some, but nothing confirmed yet. When we release any news, there will be news. But for now, there's nothing specific. But there are ideas. We have a lot of ideas. There's usually not enough time to make all those ideas happen. Next question. How long will you guys have a vacation you needed? I hope we don't look too tired. But yeah, we plan to have some vacation this year, like the holiday break. Last year, the holiday break was just after 1.0 release, so there were a lot of things happening back then, and I think we didn't really spend that much time with our families. Probably this year we're gonna, fix our mistakes and maybe rest a little bit more. What else? What are the most exciting new things you're tracking in player gameplay?
Exciting new things. I'm not sure if there are many new things after 1.0, but it's recently we looked more like, for example, in data on Cornerstones. That's why we rebalanced some in this update, and we also noticed that our like data collection or our data like processing tools weren't really that detailed. So we updated them to have a clearer image of which cornerstones are picked, when are they picked, what are the alternatives, when do you reroll, when do you skip. And that I think is an interesting thing, because sometimes when we balance cornerstones, we did it, based on feedback, like written feedback, based on some gameplay on YouTube. But now when we have more data, we can, get some more like global perspective on that. So that's something really interesting. I'm hoping to see more data after this update. But other than that, the last like thing I was really interested in was like the Forsaken Town gameplays, which were pretty interesting. But yeah, we'll see after this world event update how you approach the new events. And I'm really interested in seeing the new Cornerstone data and how we will be able to balance it better. Not to like force some builds on you or to make the game too streamlined, but by removing some really like not useful picks and adding some better ones in that place, or buffing the cornerstones which don't really fit the game. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we also very much like the Reddit threads that are happening. Some daily discussion threads with a lot of really cool insights. So we're also looking at that. Will there be new biomes for DLC, for Keepers of the Stone DLC? There are no such plans for now. We're quite happy with the DLC now after we added Ashen Thicket to it. And we're focusing right now on adding more stuff to the base game, like in this update with three new world events and changes to world events. And as Aaron mentioned, we're also looking at cornerstones in the entire game. Is there additional lore for ATS besides what we get from Aunt Lori? No.
Like most of it is like from
Not really.
Aunt Lori, like from perk descriptions and so on, from event descriptions. We don't really have anything other than that in the game. Like that's on purpose, so to speak, because we are a small team. We don't really have like we're not really too competent in telling like a big story with like an end and a start and an end. We are not really experienced in producing games like God of War. So we know our limitations, and we would much rather focus on the lore itself and keep it in spaces where you can explore it, but it's not essential for you to enjoy the game. And I think that will stay that way.
There are no books or compendiums or
No.
anything other than what you have in the game. Like we didn't release any other kind of stuff.
We once did a lore document which is available on the website, I think, but that's outdated right now. So yeah.
And I'm not really sure if it's available, but it had even if it's so old, it had old Scarlet Orchard graphics.
Oh, okay.
That it's that old.
Yeah.
Are there plans for longer settlement history? More detailed info?
Oh, so in the smoldering city, not right now. No, it's we're not really collecting more than the 20, I think, settlements you recently played. And with more info, there's always this issue with like UI space there. But it's something we might consider, but for now it's not really anywhere high on our like priority list in terms of other changes we want to do to the game.
Okay, so I think that's all. I want to thank everyone who joined us today and shared some very nice words in the chat, including wishing us happy holidays.
Yeah.
So we want to return the favor and also wish you fantastic holidays and a cheerful new year. Thank you so much for being with us as always. And if you're here for the first time, thank you for coming. It was pleasure to be here with you. We wish you a great time with the game and a happy holidays. Yeah. So
happy holidays and enjoy the new update in 2 days.
On Thursday, December 19th, 6 p.m. UTC.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.